Joining us for the 4 o'clock news and politics show. It's been all politics so far, talking with Jennifer Lawless in Washington, D.C., Michael Rojo running for City Council Ward 13, and now Stephen Cianci running for Ward 5. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
I appreciate your taking the time to come on in. I know it's been a bit of a whirlwind since you've announced the campaign to run for the seat in Ward 5. Talk with us about your decision to throw your hat in the ring and run for City Council.
Well, the decision is made based on the people I live around. In our ward, we have a lot of different things going on that people are concerned about: the schools, the sidewalks, the crime and dog attacks, and so on. As I talk to them, our voice is lost. So I feel that I want to be the people's voice, and bring that back to what it should be in politics. Let the people decide what they want, not the politicians.
So do you think that by coming from sort of the outside, if you will, that you're an outsider, that you want to bring a fresh voice into politics, as you said, against the sort of current establishment?
I think the people are tired of politics. I think they want a fresh voice, new ideas, but they all want somebody to care about the ward, which I lived in my ward for 25 years. I've been married for 40. I have 2 kids that go to the schools. They're school teachers now. But if you don't care about your ward, the city's going to fall apart. It's
come a little closer over here. Don't scoot out on me.
Yeah.
So talk with us a little bit. What's the response been since you announced last week when folks said you're tossing your hat in the ring?
I think it's a great response, because I've been going door to door, and the people I'm speaking to, it's the same thing: crime, the streets, the ATVs. It's all about what's going on in our ward and what's not happening. And every person I've spoken to is the same thing: we need new blood. And me being my first time running, I feel I can bring some change, I hope, but I'll be the people's voice in that.
So what do you talk about when people bring up Buddy Cianci? You referenced it in your campaign release. What do folks ask you?
Listen, if I could be half of what he is, I'd be great. The thing is, Buddy's Buddy, I'm Stephen. I believe in what I believe in. He believed in what he believed in. The city, when he ran it, the city was popping. As every administration that goes by, everybody has problems, in every administration. But they talk positive about it. Every person I spoke to in my ward, not a negative thing about them. It's just they need to change, and we have to bring it.
So tell folks what the next few weeks are going to bring. Summertime now, hitting the streets. Is it a listening tour? Is it trying to do fundraising? What's on your agenda?
Well, it's knocking door to door to meet the people in our ward, because that's their voice that I'm running on. As I speak to them, the concerns of what's going on with our schools, the police, the teachers, and especially with the city, with the finance problem. The city is in a difficult time. We can't sell the water department. We can't. There's no way. We can't sell the zoo. But the problem is either the state has to step up and help us, or we have to do some changes somewhere to cut wasteful spending in our city somewhere.
So one of the questions I asked another candidate who was in here just shortly, one of the issues facing the council today as we speak, moving forward, the city council now has to vet the Fane Tower proposal on the 195 land for a variance for the height. Gone to the city plan commission. They did not recommend the variance, but now the city council has to have a say in the process. If you were on the council today, what would your view be of this tower that Jason Fane is looking to move forward?
First, I would talk to all the residents in my ward and ask what they want. That's their decision, not mine. So that's how I would go about it.
So is that what you think is moving forward really going to be your MO if you were elected? Listening to the residents.
Well, it's their voice that is going to control. I'm not going to make decisions without them. I feel that they need to make the decision. They're the one paying the taxes. They're the one paying my job. Everybody's job in that city is being paid by them, so they have the right to speak.
So you talk about the issues facing the city and what you hear from your constituents. Do folks, from what you hear, feel the city is moving in the right direction? Some
say yes, some say no. The problem is, we'll worry about this next year and see what happens. I think this year it's all politics and saying the city's right, the cities are right. I think next year is going to tell all.
You think there's going to be some potential changes, if you will?
For next year? All right. It's up to the people. That's what I say. I say if they decide what change they want and what direction they want to go, they'll vote. And that's what it's all about.
So you talk with folks about being concerned about the ATVs. We did just see the police department confiscate a number of them, destroy them, if you will. What do folks say? Do they just want them off the roads sooner?
Well, they're a road hazard, number one. And when they're on the road, the police can't chase them. That's policy.
Yep.
So underneath the ordinance, they can get them. Once they get them, they can confiscate them and squash them. but they can't chase them. So there's a lot of newsletters going out there saying that they have policy where they can chase. That's not police policy. They cannot, because they can get sued if something happens. These kids are reckless. I live right across the street from them, so it's nothing new. And I see them, and we call the police, and we try to stop them, but they're out of hand. And we got to find another way of stopping them somehow. With the police, the mayor got to back the police somehow, and let them do their job. And if they don't, we're going to have this going on forever and ever. And it won't stop because they know what rights they got. Being on the street, they know the cops can't chase them. And they ain't going to stop them.
What are you hearing on speed cameras? We've just seen on the House floor at the state level them trying to sort of tighten up what the cities around the state are allowed to do or not do. And we've seen changes here in Providence as it stood so far, but there's proposed changes for lesser first infractions. But what's the response been from how it's been rolled out so far?
So the people in my ward are probably one of the highest ticketers out there in our ward. They feel that it was rolled out the wrong way, number one. Number two is the money, we don't know where the money's going. So if it's going in the general fund, it's not going to school safety, it's not going to the schools, we want to know where it's going. And that's the whole issue out there with the people in the ward. They want to know if it's going to be spent on the schools, no problem. The ticket's a little high, so when they rolled it out, $95 is a lot of money. And if the money goes to a certain direction where it's going to help the kids in the school for safety, I was at Mount Pleasant High School the other day, and I was behind the school, potholes in the parking lot, sewer caps open. The doors are wide open, so anybody can go in these schools and do what they want. If we don't spend it on safety, then the money shouldn't be going to the general fund. That's how I feel and how they feel.
And right now, as we've seen, there's some friction between the teachers and the city. You've got children who are teachers and the current administration as well. How do you think that you would handle this moving forward? Again, this friction between the teachers and the administration.
I'm for the teachers and the administration. My daughters are school teachers. I know what they go to every day. The kids are what's in our future here. If we don't teach them the right way, we don't support them in any way for safety or whatever we got to do to support them, I'm there for them. And I'm there for the teachers. I know what they go to every day.
Well, you've got your feet on the ground again, Ward 5, kicking off the campaign last week, as you said, going door to door, I'm assuming multiple times.
We've been going out there every day, and the campaign we kicked off, we had about 80 people there. For a first-time person running for office, I think that was a pretty good turnout, to be honest with you. The people I'm speaking to, they're 100% behind me. There's some older people that are in our ward. What I'm going to do in my ward is, part of my pay from council, I'm giving back to the ward, to the kids in my ward, so that they can get uniforms, whatever they need for the Little League football, whatever. There's another program I want to roll out for the elderly, which is we're going to reach out to all the elderly people in the ward to find out when there's a city emergency. We can reach out and make sure that they're safe, warm, they got water during like a snowstorm that's going to be 5 days, they're going to be buried. So I want to make sure that they're safe. There's a couple other things I'm going to roll out, but not now. But I think it would be a really good thing for the elderly in our ward, because I want them to retire and have a nice life in our ward that, they know that they don't have to sell their house. They can afford it.
Well, lots of things rolled out already. I'm sure we're going to see more to come
Hopefully.
from you, Stephen. I appreciate your taking the time to come in on the campaign trail to introduce yourselves to folks here on GoLocal. I'm sure we'll have you back in the future. Appreciate your taking the time to come in today.
Many more times. Thank you very much.
Stephen Cianci, thank you so much. I'll let you go around the corner.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. We just had some politics. Now we're going to get into some performance. We've got the Italian Chicks coming on in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.